What's good? It's been a while, like I say every week, but yeah, it's been a little bit. Like I said before, but everybody, I'm back from school. My brother finished school getting close to a month ago, but it's kind of hard to record like I used to be able to record because he be watching TV and stuff, and it's a lot of background noise, and I just wait till I have free time and have some free time today. So today I am going to go over um, the free agency moves up to this point in the NBA and just talk about each one, the major ones, of course. Um, so Obi Toppin got a 4-year, $60 million deal. He's a good piece for the Pacers. Really important piece for them. He plays both sides. Very athletic guy. He just, I don't know. When they got Siakam, that kind of ruined his bag because he's a 4 and Siakam's a 4. And Siakam's obviously the more coveted player. So they got him, and that moved Obi to the bench. So it's not a 4-year, $60 million. That's a good deal for him. He's going to bring energy. He's going to produce because his three ball is still evolving. He has the skills. He's just he has always been in a weird situation his whole career. Like, because when he got to New York, they got Julius Randle. Now he's in Indiana, and they got Pascal Siakam. So he just always been overshadowed by a star, and that's just tough. Shout out my refrigerator. But Max Christie returns to the Lakers. That's not really major because they don't use him like they should. But, yeah. Cornette returns to Boston. That's solid. Kevin Porter Jr. is back in the NBA. Just like that. Bro got a case. Beat it, I guess. Played overseas. And he's back in the league. I don't know how to feel about that pickup. Because they already have Harden, and he's basically like a Harden light. So it'll be interesting to see how that runs with him. He'll probably be, depending on what happens with Russ, he'll probably still be off the bench. Clippers, they always have weird situations, so not surprising. Mason Plumlee to the Suns. That's a solid pickup for them. They got another big Mason Plumlee who's solid. He's always been solid his whole career, so it's a really good pickup. The Mavs signed Najee Marshall for 3-year, $27 million. That's a pretty good signing for them, in my opinion. Najee, he's a perimeter guy, perimeter defender. They needed that added defense. Losing Derrick Jones, which I'm gonna get to later. But he shoots like 39 from 3. He's a good defender, good wing, so that's a solid pickup for Dallas. Eric Gordon to the Sixers on a 1-year, $3 million deal. Eric Gordon just bouncing around the league at this point. It's actually funny, but he contributes everywhere he goes. So, hey, get that bag. Yeah, he always contributes. He can shoot it. Yeah. Jonas Valanciunas to the Wizards for $30 million, 3-year, $30 million contract. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not saying that's not a bad pickup, but they did draft Alex Sarr, so that's an interesting pickup. I don't know they might start Sarr at the 4. I don't know, but that's not a horrible pickup for them. Valanciunas can stretch the floor, defend. So Drummond, back to the Sixers, 2-year deal. Sixers low-key trying to load up a little bit now, knowing that they got PG as well. Drummond, he's good for rebounds and defense if you play him, of course. And people were contemplating that pickup because when he was there before, he wasn't playing. But now they have Nick Nurse, and I feel like Nick Nurse will play Andre Drummond because they need his presence on the floor, his rebounding, his defense. So it'll be interesting to see how his return to Philly is. Kevin Love re-signed. Neemias Queta re-signed. So Queta re-signed to the Celtics. Kevin Love re-signed to the Heat on a 2-year, $8 million deal. They just need that veteran presence. He can still shoot it, so they just need that veteran. Even though they have the experience, but hey, why not bring K-Love along for the ride? Kelly Oubre back to the Sixers. Like I said, Sixers trying to load up a little bit off the bench, starters, whatever. Kelly Oubre, we know what he's capable of. Scorer, defender. Yeah, Derrick Jones Jr. to the Clips. That's a iffy. I don't know how the Dallas Mavericks should feel about that because he was their primary wing defender, and they also lost Josh Green too. I'll probably get into that whenever I do, but that's iffy because Josh Green, 3-and-D guy, really came to play, played his heart out, played hard every time. Same for Derrick Jones, bruh. Crafty guy, could defend, put him on their best perimeter player, whatever, and he'll shut him down. Good chance he does. Call KCP to the Magic. That hurts. I know Nuggets fans, that hurts, man. A guy who was key in your championship run. He's like a do-it-all type of guy, glue guy. Lost him to Orlando, and Orlando getting some more veteran presence. They have a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent, so having a vet like KCP will help take them to the next level, because I still feel like they're missing that starting point guard. But KCP, that's a good pickup, bro. KCP is like a guy who can fit into any system in the league because of his play style. It's like a 3-and-D, 2-3. He can play two positions. He's a good wing. Chris Paul got waived by the Warriors, and now he's with Wemby in San Antonio. People were complaining about Wemby not getting touches. His players, his teammates weren't finding him. He's not being allowed to do what he should be allowed to do because his teammates aren't passing the ball. And now you have one of the greatest passers in NBA history on your team. I don't care what his age is. He can still pass. He can still go. And I'm predicting a Wemby 25 point per game plus season this year. Ain't no way. Running with CP. You see what Blake Griffin was doing. You see what type of players CP3 helped Shea become when he went to play with him, having him play off the ball a bit. CP3 makes guys better. And Wemby, that pick and roll is going to be something scary. And CP, I think he just fits the way that Pop coaches, and he plays defense. And that's a great pickup. And one of the guys who I hope they don't get, because they don't really need him, but if they get Lauri Markkanen, that team goes from, we might not be good next season to a playoff contender easily. Because Wemby's taking that jump. You see what he's doing in the Olympic qualifier exhibition games. It's crazy. Wemby's poised to have a crazy season next year. And then Harden, 2-year $70, yes. $70. 2-year $70 million deal with a player option back to LA. So him and Kawhi are gonna rock out, knowing that PG's gone. So I just want to see what it feels like to where we see Harden. I don't know if Harden's gonna be the number one option, but they may as well let him be. Just let him rock out. Kawhi's gonna be there. Kawhi's gonna get his 25, whatever. But we'll see. He did have a good solid playoffs, but it wasn't enough. Ooh, Drew Eubanks to the Jazz. Although the Suns lost him, they got Plumlee, who I think was an upgrade. So Jazz are having a solid offseason depending on what happens with Lauri Markkanen. Because if they lose him, that's tough. But they drafted a lot of guys, and they're signing guys. So they got a lot of young talent as well over there in Utah. Luka Garza, back to the Wolves. Hopefully they can get him involved, man. We saw what he did in college. I know I feel like he needs a chance. Isaiah Joe back to the Thunder, one of the best shooters in the league. Need him. Same with Wiggins. They need him. 3-and-D guy off the bench. Those two off the bench is crazy. Thunder are just having a crazy offseason so far. Aaron Holiday back to the Rockets. We'll see how that plays out if he plays. DeAnthony Melton to the Warriors. I don't know how to feel. It's not like that's a bad pickup. He's a good backup guard, so it'll be interesting to see what Warriors do if they get Larry Markkinen. Oof, that'll be scary. Oh, the Bulls signed Jalen Smith to a 3-year, $27 million deal. That's actually interesting because Jalen Smith is one of those guys who's like a solid backup, and depending on what they do, I don't know, he might still be a backup, but he's solid, bro. Basically averaged double digits last season. Can stretch the floor. Really talented guy. I remember when he was in college, he was really good. DeLon Wright still getting contract. Shout out him. One of the guys who's very underrated. Signed to the Bucks. Nick Batum going back to LA. Wow. Just after getting traded for Harden, he just goes back to LA. So another guy, Nick Batum's just a glue guy. He's a do-it-all guy. He's aging, but that means nothing. He does what needs to be done to win games. Goga Badatsi. 3-year, $25 million deal. There's always that meme of him and Zion, and everybody's over there with Zion, and nobody's trying to talk to him. And he always talks about that, giving him motivation to do better. Hey, respect, man. Putting in the work. And keep... Whoa, I'm sorry. I did not know this happened. Chris Dunn joining the Clippers. Why are the Clippers stacking up on guards, though? Chris Dunn's an amazing defender, by the way. Great point guard. Really brought his career back with the Jazz. He did what he needed to do. Really, really good defender, bro. Chris Dunn carving his way. Gary Harris remaining in Orlando. I feel like somehow, some way, knowing that KCP was coming to Orlando, the Nuggets should have tried to get Gary Harris back, because I feel like he's a vet now. He's there for 2 years. I don't know. The Nuggets need to do something. They need to get a wing, bro. They've lost basically all their wings other than your guys, MPJ, Brown, Watson. Those guys got to step up next year for sure, losing KCP. But Gary Harris remaining in Orlando. Vet, he's really helping the young guys, and he's actually contributing too. So that's a good keep for them. Mo Bamba to the Clips. What is going on? The Clippers are just trying to assemble something. But that's straight. That's not bad. Hartenstein to the Thunder. I actually like this pickup for the Thunder a lot. I know that hurts the Knicks, even though we know what's going on with the Knicks. Oh, I'll talk about what happens with the Knicks too. But yeah. Hartenstein was really good and really big for the Knicks when Mitch Robinson went down, and he actually proved why he's deserving of this bag that OKC's giving him. I feel like OKC is going to start him at the 5 and run Chet at the 4, and that'll be seeing Chet run the 4 will be something different. And we saw another team in the Miami Heat who drafted Khalil Ware, and they're going to probably start him at the 5 and run Bam at the 4. A lot of guys who are like tall or big that run center and are truly 4s. Like, imagine Wemby at the 4 full time. That would be crazy. But I like this pickup because now that allows for Chet to roam, run the floor, spread the floor. Hartenstein, who's an interior guy, interior defender, hit the little floater, rebounder, does the little things to win as well. That's a really good pickup for them as well. And I feel like the Thunder are going to make that championship push next season. There's no way they don't. But if they don't, I feel like it'll be a disappointing season, really, because they have all the keys now. They have the experience. They went to the playoffs this season, and they put up a fight. They literally swept the team. Then they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, but they have what it takes. Pistons bring back Tobias Harris. Shout out to Tobias coming back to Detroit, where he was actually doing really good when he was here. I remember when he was here in the city of Detroit, and he was doing well. These 2 seasons, it's not bad. I'm not giving him a whole lot of money. He's only here for 2 years, so hopefully his veteran presence and his score, he can score the ball, bro, and he's gonna be put into a position to where I feel like he starts for us, and he's gonna have to be that guy to offset Cade, and that'll be straight. I feel like that'll be good for me, for the Pistons this year. Paul George to the 76ers. That is insane. That's an insane pull. Maxey, George, Embiid. What's wrong with the last 2 names I named? Injuries. If this team's healthy, though, with a starting lineup of possibly Maxey, Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre, Paul George, and Embiid, that'll probably be it. Or they're not running Drummond at the 4. Yeah, that'll probably be that line. They should be a top 4 seed next season, just off of paper. But they have the talent too. And like Paul George, I don't know. He just seems like he fits in Philly too for some odd reason. But it happened, man. Nobody thought Golden State. I don't know what happened there. Well, he did opt. What did he opted out? Whatever he had to do didn't happen. So the Warriors couldn't get him. Yeah, he had to opt into his deal to get to the Warriors so they could do like a sign and trade or whatever. And then Maxey re-signed for a lot of money, over 200 M's. Deserving. Yep, $204 million, 5 years. Deserving, really deserving. Had a really, I feel like Harden, when they had Harden, and he had that breakout year last year. Then this season, he just took off because they lost Harden. And him and Embiid were one of the best duos in the league. Now they're going to add Paul George. I like it. And Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson to the Mavs, man. As a guy who's been following basketball basically my entire life, and a guy who was a Warriors fan growing up because they beat LeBron, so I liked them. Not because they got KD, but because they beat LeBron. But seeing Klay leave, it doesn't feel real because Klay was such a pivotal part to that franchise's success. And for him to leave, I was not expecting him to leave his brother Steph like that, man. The end of an era for real, man. I want to see what he does in Dallas, because it'll be interesting to see. He's not the same defender, but all he really needs to do for them is spot up and shoot. They got defenders. Klay gonna have to defend. I feel like they got Klay, but they lost Derrick Jones. They lost Josh Green. It'll be interesting to see what Dallas does this season. Do I think they'll make it back to the finals? Looking at the West, I don't know. I really don't know. But only time will tell. Klay's going to bring that experience as well, because that's something they were lacking when they played Boston. It was evident. So that's a good pickup for Dallas. Am I mad that he left Golden State? Of course. But, hey. James Wiseman to the Pacers. That's interesting. Because Jalen Smith, who was a backup, he went to Chicago, as I said earlier, and now they're picking up James Wiseman, who still has potential to be great. He's a solid backup. He's a solid backup. That's what when he was in Detroit, solid backup. What else did we expect out of him? He was a solid backup, and it's good to have a role in the league. You don't have to be that guy. You're gonna get paid if you do, or you find your role and you fill it well. So shout out to him. Mo Wagner. Shout out Mo. He got a 2-year, $22 million deal to stay. He's another glue guy who, I don't know, his expectations coming into the league. I remember when he was at Michigan wearing them Jordan Concords. It kind of irritated me. But shout out to him, man, getting the bag, playing with us, bro. Celtics bring back Xavier Tillman. That's a solid pickup, man. You saw what he was able to do in the finals off the bench. With KP being out, he had to step in and play, and he came to play. So shout out to him. And Kyle Anderson to the Warriors. That's actually a solid pickup for Golden State. Even though people like Kyle Anderson, the people think he's a bum. Like, he's like a point forward and he can defend and rebound. Like, he's a solid NBA player. He's good. Pair him with Draymond, Steph. They just need that other guy, though. That's why I'm hoping they can get Lauri Markkanen. If they do, they're right back into being contenders, really. Because Lauri fits that scheme of shooting threes, playing fast. You feel me? Heat re-sign Thomas Bryant. Damian Lee back to Phoenix. I forgot about him on a 1-year deal. Taurean Prince to the Bucks. Ooh, that's kind of tough. Lake Show lost him. Now he's in Milwaukee. That'll be interesting to see him bring whatever he brings off the bench, because I don't think he starts with. He might. They're gonna probably run Dame, Chris. If they do run, they're gonna run him, Giannis, Brook. That's not a bad lineup. But yeah, it's a solid pickup for them. He's a good vet. He has experience as well. Alec Burks to the Heat. Miami's cooking up too. On a 1-year deal. Joe Ingles to the Wolves. That'll be interesting to see how he fits in that scheme and that system off the bench, more than likely. Yeah, because they're kind of locked up now because Conley's going to start for a year. Joe Ingles is on a 1-year deal, so it'll be interesting to see. He has chemistry with Mike. He played with Mike in Utah, played with Rudy in Utah. So it'll be interesting. He brings that energy, though. He has playoff experience, too. That's a good pickup. LeBron, of course. 2-year, $104 or $105 million deal. He signed it as soon as Clay. Like, he's like, oh, man, Clay not coming. PG ain't coming for sure. They could have tried to get DeMar, because DeMar's still on the table. But he took that deal because he opted out, and he just was like, let me just get another M more per season. Yeah. Shout out LeBron, man. Billionaire. Shake Milton to the Nets. Buddy Hield to the Warriors. That's kind of a big signing. Losing Clay. I'm not saying he's better than Clay. But that's a good signing. At the moment, sometimes they're both streaky. But that's a good pickup for them. Buddy, good shooter, man. Don't take me there. I saw Franz Wagner got paid today. It was like 225 M's, but it can go up to 270 M's. Franz, if he's well worth it. Good player, 20-point per game scorer. Simple yet effective. Literally, that's how he plays basketball. He's not the most skilled guy, but he has skills that work well. And only thing about him is he has to play better in the playoffs. He kind of disappeared when they needed him the most. And it was just Paolo out there against Donovan Mitchell and the guys. So, but he's well deserving. Do not take that as a bad thing. Tatum, 315. Shout out JT, man. One of my favorite players in the league now. I was once a Tatum hater. Not anymore. not anymore. Because you gotta look at it. It's deeper than just what on the court. Like when Tatum first came to the league, I was a big fan because I thought his game resembled KD for some odd reason. He's a big guy, big guard, but he's a more of a driver. And I don't know what happened, but after that 2022 L, I was like, dang. Even though I was rooting for the Warriors, I'm like, this guy's tough, but like he's not there yet. And then last season, I was really like adamant, like, bro, he got hurt in that game 7 versus the Heat, and I was like, man, he don't want it for real. But I realized it's deeper than basketball, bro. He's a good dude, dad, God fear him. So had to let that go. Let that go, man. Let it go. Yep, Franz. Kai Jones reportedly agrees to a non-guaranteed deal to stay with the Clips. Non-guaranteed, though. That's iffy. Yep, Buddy. Shake Milton already said. LeBron and Brownie. Oh, Brownie. Ooh, Torian Prince. PJ Dozier. Alec Burks. I've already said a lot of this stuff. But I haven't really talked about some trades so far. And one of the biggest trades and like just situations so far is Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks. That is one of the biggest trades. But first, I'm going to go from that for the first like big trade of the offseason so far. Thunder get Caruso for Josh Giddey. I think it was picks. No, just Josh straight up. That just, like I said, the Thunder, they have what it takes. They have the roster. They have the experience now. They have the defense. They have the shooting. They have what it takes. They have the floor spacing. They have the talent. It's theirs to lose, really. The West is theirs to lose. Like, that's a great picking up Askew. So sending Josh Giddey to Chicago and where he will be a playmaker depending on who's on the wings. But Josh Giddey is one of the guys who, of course, that off the court stuff happened, but like, and his lack of defense, really, and shooting still to this point in his career. But he has potential. He still has potential, and I'm not gonna just give up on the guy. But yeah, Thunder low-key gave up on him. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do if you want to win as an organization, and that's what they had to do. Danny Avdia to the Blazers for Malcolm Brogdon, Bub Carrington, and some picks. I don't know how to feel. Danny had a really good season last year, breakout for real. But Trailblazers, they're in a weird spot. I don't know what they're doing with their franchise. They drafted Donovan Clingan, but they also have DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but that's a great pickup for them. Ooh, that was a draft night trade for Deron Holmes to the Nuggets. Suns got Ryan Dunn out of that. Ryan Dunn, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Not in the league, but in college, in the draft. And went to the Suns. Suns got a lot of defense in this offseason so far. Rob Dillingham to the Timberwolves is crazy. And people are like, why did the Spurs trade him? Well, if they got CP3, they got the guy who they need to take Wemby to the next level right now. Not saying Rob is going to do that, but Wemby needs a guy like CP right now. He does, because he's going to take that second step. But Rob to the Timberwolves, I don't think he starts this year. I think he comes off the bench, him and Naz Reid, being one of the best off-the-bench duos in the league this coming season. Entertaining. But when Rob officially starts, whenever Mike Conley's gone, he's going to have Mike to mentor him. Him and Ant Edwards, it's going to be showtime. It just will. Like, that duo, the energy that they both bring, and you pair them together, telling you, in a couple years, man, it could be scary. Ooh, the trade where the Rockets got AJ Griffin. That's actually a solid pickup for them, in my opinion. They got a lot of young talent in Houston. Another team who had a solid season last year. They barely missed the play-in. But yeah, they got Reed Shepard in the draft. I think after this, I'm gonna just go into the draft because there's not really that many trades that happened. But the main one, like I said, Mikal Bridges, which is insane to me to think that Nova Knicks actually exists. The Nova Knicks actually exists. Like Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, and Mikal Bridges. Now they need to go get Omari Spellman and Eric Paschall. But Mikal to the Knicks, bro. They're trying to build a team to beat the Celtics, bro. Because look at the lineup. Depending on who they want to start, it's Jalen, Mikal, or Dante, and then Mikal, OG, Julius, and Mitch Robinson. So I think Mikal starts at the 2, and then because I'm surprised Julius is still there, but that trade is huge because they have a lot of wing guys like DiVincenzo and Josh Hart off the bench. It'll be crazy. They got a lot of defense, a lot of shooting, a lot of floor spacing. They don't really have JB and Jay Randall. They're really the only 2 ball dominant guys on that roster, which is crazy to think. But yeah, that trade is probably the biggest trade so far because Mikal Bridges is a guy who we've seen put up crazy numbers when he was with the Nets. So, but I feel like we don't want to see him back in his son's phase where we have to question his potential. Like, no, he needs to be able to score. And OG, they re-signed him to for 212 M's. So OG's staying around for a while. I'm going to just look at the draft right now. Not really an insane draft class. Not really any, oh my gosh, picks. But Zach Rizache is Atlanta Hawk. I don't know. Yeah, Sar didn't go work out for him. And so they took Zach. Respect. He's a 3-and-D guy. He could be like an MPJ type of player. MPJ, high release point, kind of scrawny, but that comes with being lanky, bro. It's Alex Sar to the Wizards. That's a great pickup. I thought he was the consensus best player in the class, but he brings a lot to the table, and I like it. Reed Shepard 3, shooter, expected really because they need that shooting. Stephon Castle 4, expected. I feel like CP3 is gonna really. I think CP3 unlocks his offensive potential this season if he runs the 2. Ron Holland, I didn't expect us to draft him. I expected us to draft Montas Buzelis, but it'll be interesting to see Ron's game develop. It's really his 3-ball that's questionable. I feel like him and Asar have a lot of similarities, so it's kind of iffy. Wow, I forgot about this. What's his name? Saloon is who the Hornets took. I didn't get to watch film on. I didn't think he was going this high in the draft. I didn't really get to watch film on him a lot. Klingon 7, expected, really good. Really good interior defender. Sort of has a bag offensively. Rob 8 to the Spurs, but they traded him. Zach Edey going 9. See, people are hating on this pick, but they needed a big. They got rid of Steven Adams. And that's a great pickup for them. It is. He's really a bigger Zubac with more offensive potential. And that's scary. And he's a better defender than Zubac, in my opinion. Cody Williams, 10. Like I said, the Jazz really went crazy in the draft. Buzelis, 11. Dang it, I wanted him in Detroit. Topic, 12. They kind of got their Josh Giddey replacement in him. So they traded Josh Giddey for somebody in Alex Caruso, and then they drafted his replacement who plays just like him and who has the potential to be better. Devin Carter, 13, and Bub Carrington, 14. And then Khalil Ware, 15. Good pickup. Like I said, Bam's going to run the floor this year. 16, Jarrett McCain could be starting at the 2 for Philly because they just need he's a shooter, and he plays defense. Dalton Connect drops to 7. And, yeah, I feel like the draft was straight. Nothing crazy out of this draft. Like I said, next year's draft is going to be insane. But this year's draft was better than a lot of people expected. A lot of these guys are going to come into their team and play immediately. So I respect that. And seeing Dalton Connect drop to 17 is crazy. I know a lot of people question his age, but the Lakers are going to use him in so many different ways. So that's a great pickup by them. And, yeah, that's all I have for y'all today. Just wanted to get on here, talk about some free agency stuff and some draft stuff real quick, even though I already went over my pre-draft stuff. So, yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Probably see y'all next week. And